What's up, YouTube, and welcome to another review. This time we're doing a game. Welcome to Forza 5, car enthusiast heaven. Heck, I've heard people call it car porn before. Anyway, let's get straight into the review. Well, let's start with those graphics, man. The cars, there are over 200 cars to play with. And man, it's no wonder that I can just keep coming back to this game. There's tuners, muscles, exotics, and many more. Boy, that almost sounded a little bit like Need for Speed Carbon. I'm sure people who play that game know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, Forza Vista in the game allows you to view every car in exquisite detail. Forza 4 actually only let you do that with specific cars. But 5, man, just go all out, man. Just do whatever the hell you want. Just get all of them. And man, the cars really do look beautiful. It shows that they really took their time to make this game, this game look really good. The tracks themselves, there's a nice variety of tracks to select with, like just to select and play. Play on. There's a couple of, quite a few series favorites, like, Sebring and Nürburgring was also actually added after launch. And these tracks themselves are quite beautiful. I mean, there's a lot of times I found myself just stopping or taking my time to go around the corner just so that I can see the track. Let's move to one of the most important parts of a game. That's the gameplay. Each and every car in this game is distinct. You spend time with one car, you get to learn, its edges, you learn how to push it to the edge, and you know when it's going to bite you back. I mean, the racing engine in this game has evolved over the past few years. I mean, if you want to test that out, just find yourself a copy of Forza 1 and play that. You really see the improvements that they've done to this racing engine throughout these years. I mean, there's a wide range of different game modes and little things that they've added, during your races just to make it a bit more fun, like rivals. It sets you up against, so to say, times from either your friends or people just around the world. A little notification come up saying, oh, your next rival is this person, next rival is that person, and it's on a lap by lap basis, of course. So if you beat them, it'll tell you, you beat this person. The person I had to keep trying to beat was my brother. He's played quite a few hours on this game, and he's really good. So a lot of the times when I started racing, it would just be like, oh, your next rival is this person. I'm like, oh, it's my brother again. But this game features this driver task system, which is powered by the cloud, which is basically just digital versions of other real players. The whole point of this is that it collects all this data about how this person drives and the way they drive and how they handle the cars and all that, and it brings that to your race. It's just another way just to try to make the race more dynamic for the player, make it a bit more fun and a bit more random, so to say. This game, when it comes to customization, man, just like all the other Forza games, the customization options are just crazy. I mean, they let you upgrade the car visually, kind of. I like to compare it a little bit with how Need for Speed used to be, like in the underground days. They do let you do quite a bit of stuff, and other aspects like the engine, suspension, the body work, and the attention that went into this. Of course, as usual, it's just really high because, well, it's a Forza game. Usually they put a lot of work into what they do. The added commentary from Top Gear presenters is also a nice familiar touch. I mean, it's been in earlier games and I still welcome it in this game. I'm a big fan of Top Gear and I really like their commentary, so I actually like that. Multiplayer itself in this game, as usual, is good. I mean, I don't really recall it ever being bad. I never really played Forza 1 multiplayer, so maybe that was, I don't know. But either way, the multiplayer in this game is good. It's got a great range of modes. It's got things like, circuit racing, drag racing, drifting racing, which were introduced in Forza 4. It's good to see them in this game as well. They've also got an actual mode itself for rivals, which has, set challenges and stuff that you can go and do. So there's quite a few things that you can do to keep yourself occupied in this game. And if you race with the cars that you actually own, of course you gain experience and you gain money while you're doing it. Sounds, well, I'll just let this speak for itself. Another aspect of the sound is, of course, the music in the menus and the races. Really, the races one, I don't. It's usually quite muffled, of course, because of all the car sounds. Well, I put the car sounds quite high, so I don't really hear the music there. But the music in the menus is some pretty next level epic stuff, man. Because they kind of started this type of music back in Forza 3. The menu system, then 4 took it to the next level, and then 5 is just taking it even further. Some people complained about it, some people didn't really like it. I myself personally, I kind of like it. Music, it's not like it's bad music, it's really well done. It's just like super epic, even though you're doing something as mundane as maybe just buying a car, or actually buying a car is not a mundane thing, but yeah, you get what I mean. I would get to the bad parts of the game. I mean, Forza seems to suffer from the same thing that other franchises, new iterations on these new consoles suffer from, which is it loses some content that it had in the previous game. I mean, one major thing that Forza 4 had, and Forza 3 had, and Forza 2, I'm pretty sure Forza 2 had it, is the auction house, which it opened up the community, the Forza community, man. It just let you buy things from everybody, like buy cars, designs, I can't even remember this. There's probably more, and I can't remember, but it was just such a great feature. And it would even let you buy DLC cars, even if you didn't even have the DLC. That was something I really liked. And another thing also, of course, is there's less cars and there's less tracks. I mean, Forza 4, I think, had about 500 cars, and I think something like 25, 26 tracks. And this one is a bit less than that. I think it's 16 tracks. I'm not too sure, but yeah. So it suffers from that issue. Another issue also, which a lot of people complained about at launch and stuff, which I at first didn't really think, this isn't really going to affect me, which is the whole DLC and microtransactions type of thing. The DLC issue is that in the previous game, Forza 4, my favorite car that I used a lot was the Lamborghini Revenger. I absolutely adored that car. And when I booted up Forza 5, and I was like, let me just go check out some cars and see what they got. And the Revenge one is on the DLC car. It's not like actually on the game. Like you can't, like it's not. I have to buy a DLC pack just so I can race with it. And I was just like, really? It was in your previous game. I can understand making DLCs for new cars that weren't in the previous game, but for cars that are actually, in the previous game. So it just seems a bit, I don't know, I didn't like it. Oh, actually, another thing I didn't mention also I didn't like about the game is the car selection, so to say, grid or thing. It's just a really long line of cars, and you have to press the right button, and it'll jump you to the next car manufacturer. But I mean, in the previous games, I'm pretty sure like you could bring up a grid. You could it'll bring up each of the manufacturers sorted in alphabetical order, and you could just select them. It was just a lot quicker to get to a specific car. I mean, now if I want to go all the way down to a car that's in Z, like towards the end of the alphabet, I literally have to just stay there clicking for quite some time, and I found that a bit mundane. I was like, I don't really like that. I like the previous thing you had. To round it all up, all in all, this is a great game. In fact, it's an amazing game. The cars are great, the tracks are great, the modes are great. I'm sure with the newly announced Forza 6, all the old stuff that we had in the previous games, probably going to come back, So I'm sure on that content side, things are going to beef up a little bit. So yeah, with that in mind, my score for this game is an 8.7 out of 10.